This has to stop. We cannot keep getting away with this. This deck, out of nowhere, is absolutely dominating and crushing the entire meta. And I don't know why it took so long. Like, where was this deck at all this time? Somebody submitted it, and everybody was like, wow, it's good. And then they played it again. And they're like, wow, I placed well again. And then 4 people did it. And they're like, what if we just took first, second, third, and fourth in the challenge? And now it's either wins the challenge or has 4 lists in the top 8 on MTG. I don't understand, but this deck truly right now has no counters in the meta besides being on the draw against self. That's the mirror. Nobody likes the mirror, but it is what it is. This deck has multiple iterations. Some play Elishnorn to kind of counter it. Some don't play Elishnorn. Some play less Nisses. Some play less Virtues. It kind of really depends what you're feeling. This list personally is playing Kellen, which is very cool for me. I love ramp. This deck speaks to me so much. I play Scape Shift in Modern a lot of times, which also is like a land combo deck, if you would, relying on mountains. So this speaks home to me, at home to me. I get to play lands, I get to play World Soul Rage and one-shot my opponent just like I would with Escape Shift after playing lands. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to hop into the games. You can see all the challenge results. I put them on screen so you can see when I was freaking out. But really, we're going to hop into the games because if you don't know this game plan by now and you've been playing Standard for a while, where have you been? We're putting lands in play with this after milling them with both of these 6 cards or using a World Soul Rage early. Getting to the end game, having an Issa in play or a Virtue in play, making a ton of mana and World Soul cannoning our opponent. All you really need to know, we're playing best of 1. Let's just get out there and play the games. All right, I'm redoing the intro. Our opponent wasn't here. I didn't know if they were going to show up, so I just went ahead and stopped the recording, and then they showed up. So here we are. Very cool. Yeah, you might notice the camera angle changed. I was supposed to get an island with that. Got me, chat. Did it. They're the best. I don't know what to do. Of course. But yeah, I got a new desk. Stand at it. So I'm very excited about that. Schooner? Azorius shutdown nonsense? Swamp Mountain Forest? Use it to double island here or something. I wonder what they'll play. They'll play a Tidebinder. They play land and pass. So that's what I'm gonna have to assume it is. It could just be Azorius artifacts. I'm not really sure. Right now, also the island hasn't mattered because if I don't have 2 islands, it doesn't really do anything right now. I guess ill-time explosion would be possible, but as of this present moment, the island does not matter. Okay. Looking for a land, I assume. Lay down arms, not possible. They auto passed through their combat phase and they just concede. I let them just soak in it, bro. And they were like, no, I'm done. Like, go first. We have no sack lands. That kind of sucks, but we're going to keep here. We're going to kind of mislead with playing off a basic island here. Now, the reason I cap is because this can get a lot of value. But instead, I'm going to play the Archaeologist, mill a little bit more. We'll grab the Vengeance Knot. Then it might not matter. That's a white land. It could be control. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, indeed. Can give it indestructible. Do I just go ahead and do this? I think so. Anytime we can stall that deck a turn, we just take our opportunity to do so. You can give it protection, indestructible, multiple things. Another double striker, but no way to draw cards off of this one. So we don't have anything too crazy to worry about. We play Nissa, we play Forest. Activates, we make an island or a blue mana. We don't make an island. It's mills. Putting only a second land into the yard. Actually, don't have many. We only have 2. Duelist Audacity. That makes sense. I mean, right now, the best blocker we got. We're not looking to trade, nor can we even really trade here. Trample, we get that infect in. Play this. Make a blue. I go ahead and I sacrifice this blood token, pitching a forest. The reason we're able to do this is because we have the aftermath. We don't have to do much else with it here. Now we have block with aftermath. Even though this has trample, so we do have to be a little bit worried about that. Block actually doesn't work. We die here. 2 spells. Instant speed. Giant growth is possible. I don't know. I just do the block. Maybe they would show me something. Mana. We can make 3 blue here. That'll allow us to cast our memory deluge. Go find a spell. Hit another aftermath. Understand, little things like this can sometimes be boring. One of the big gripes about this deck in general. Now we'll memory deluge. We'll go find the cards we need. Ill-Time being good. Another archaeologist being fine. Don't know what we got. Well, we get hit for a ton here. Sure. In life, no it doesn't. Green. Aha. This one and this one. 2 damage. You have the protection. Okay, I would have to imagine that they do. Imagine there's a world they wouldn't. Alright. Now it has protection. Green. I have not enough. This one? Probably go ahead and block. Maybe. Just be ready to cannon them next turn. But I somehow left just red floating. That's like the part that's kind of annoying. It's like the auto tapper made my red stay around, which is definitely not what we want. I just lose to this. I mean, I'm double blocking regardless. Pretty much have lethal on the stack. I just have to make sure that I'm good here, which I should be. Sure. Oh boy. I think they'll concede to me just tapping mana. 11:25. Yeah, very cool. We did the thing. That's why this deck is absolutely insane. No reason for it to be this good. Like, no reason I should ever win there. I feel like if I'm playing any other deck, I just have to try to figure out how to answer that. But instead here, I just go, I can answer it by winning the game. Unlike any other deck's able to do. Hey, Astros? Alright, we can keep this. We have the Vengeance. We're on the draw, which means it's Convoke. We have the answer for it. Oh, scam? Well, it's mono red. I mean, it's kind of the same thing, right? Play the brokers. Go get the island. This can only grab blue and green. This can grab red, green, or blue. Or swamp. Never mind. That's my Astros. I knew that. Okay, buddy. What is up with these prowl stacks right now, man? They're everywhere. Trying to stop me. Can't take it. Everywhere. What do I do, though? Am I able to get Nissa down? Maybe survive? Rule? We're looking to super prowess this thing? Flip it? Sure. For 3 here, I'm going to let that happen. I'm going to let that happen. Is Ward 2. Can I pay Ward 2? Absolutely not. I cannot do that. I can play a sack land, but then I can't play Nissa. Nissa better. I can ill-time explosion. Get rid of this. Next turn. If I have a Nissa down, I block. Because the fear is that I'm dead. This does have trample. So is my 3 going to be enough to change that? I can ill-time anyway. I can gain a little life, go to 19, and maybe just block. Questions. I guess I'm just going to play the Nissa, because this is only 2, yes. So I pass. I see maybe, because there's a chance that they play another creature here, and they kind of take another passive turn. But with 4 mana, I might just lose both my creatures and get hit for a ton. Witchstalker Frenzies, things like that. Nissa block. With my life total at 21, that's pretty much how you have to do the math when trample's involved. Yeah, super trample's involved. 8 damage. 21. So. Oh boy. Guess what ill-time explosion cannot answer here. Guess what ill-time explosion can answer here. But I played the basic land. So now I lose. Maybe I should have just played the ill-time blocks with this. I suppose. That's tough. I mean, realistically, like, if I didn't draw this, like, do I still feel the same way? Maybe. I'm just gonna do it now. We pass. We're forced to block here, I think. And just let 8 plus any spell kill me. Or 4 plus any spell here kill me. Alright, maybe they don't have it, but I doubt it. Although they did lead off with another one of these, so their hand could be empty. I just don't know why they wouldn't cash in when I was tapped out. Like, they knew the number to get it done. Undestructible, right? Sweet. This one? Alright, so we can do Memory to Lose and get it back if needed. And then we can just go ahead and do this island. Yeah. Deal 4. Get both of those off the board. Now we're set up pretty well. Ashes come down with Memory to Lose kind of lurking. I am going to go ahead and grab an island. Now with World Soul Rage, I can kind of answer anything. Nothing. Hey. Nissa. And green, I guess. Not looking to do much here. I'm just going to pass. Much rather World Soul next turn with a little bit more damage or be able to answer a creature. That, for example. You can pay 1, they can attack. I'll probably let it go through. I think having Nissa and it's probably better. Of course, we're at 9 right now, going to 5, but the life gain this deck provides us is actually way better. Let's mill here. Let's put more lands in if we can. Just in case we pop off, we grab another World Soul Rage, which is great. 1, 2. Do this. Go get 2 tap lands. Do this. We'll gain 2. Go to 7. This will trigger twice. Blue, red, and it'll trigger again. That's why we need to make the greens here. Green. More life. Grab another green. More life. Then I'll just go ahead and play this down, mill a little bit more, and then next turn we will be able to go absolutely bonkers. We're hitting them for 3. I don't think any haze creature off the top wins, but I could be wrong. Could be a big dino, but I should have double blocks. They give it one more turn. Did I just even budge anywhere? This is what? Is it more mana to go the opposite way? How many lands? It's definitely more mana. Okay. Well, here we go. Lock in, team. We have to do the kind of annoying thing, but they go ahead and concede. I was going to cut it anyway, so it's not like we would have had to sit here regardless, but we're going to make a ton of mana and then World Soul Rage them for enough, I believe. Go first. First, we can grab a forest off here. We can grab a forest here, but which one is my mountain? Or my mountain? Okay. Grab forest here. We play island. We grab mountain off this. Play aftermath. Because we have a second one, I'm perfectly fine going ahead and barreling. Look, they have the same sleeves as me. Look at us. We're twinsies. Twinsies. Wayne. Enchantments? Okay, weirdly enough, we should have time. That's actually really good. I was playing extra land. Aftermath's always cool, but getting to play an extra land here is so good. Put in this mountain, because now, even if it gets a little awkward, we can virtue grabbing out a forest. Naturally, sure. There is a basic, so ossification is definitely possible. Just to make sure we're not getting popped in the next 2 turns. Ooh. Have to do this. Forest would be nice. First, we'll just sacrifice the clue. Hopefully, we're not going to get dumpstered here. You can do a lot of shenanigans. Third Companion is a pretty good start to that. They're going to gain a lot of life, which sometimes doesn't matter when virtues are around. Yeah, they're growing. Real-time explosion would also be incredible here. That's 10 damage on the board. Pretty much set up for lethal next turn. Oh, devastating. Absolutely crushing. Ossification will be enough. And there goes 2 real-time. Oh, that's tough, dude. That is tough. Like kind of an awkward situation where everything kind of falls apart there. Didn't even Vampire's Vengeance, which isn't necessarily the best on this board. It's just like also not the worst. Another counter, spread it out, make sure everything's buffed. Auto passing here. This is trample. This technically blocks more. 10. Have to double block. That sucks. That ill-timed explosion coming in handy for our opponent there. Yeah, got it. We drew the ill-time, we win. If we don't draw it, we lose. Pretty brutal, honestly. Go first with this hand. Sure, I guess. It always just seems slow because you're like, every land we play is taps, but if we draw a basic, it does kind of change a lot of things up. We get a mountain right away, or a forest, I mean. You can get the mountain or forest. This can get a mountain or island. We want to get mountain here, island here. Sure, mana makes sense. Doesn't matter which one we get first, I guess. If we draw a basic, which one we grab first, I suppose. Looks like you're gonna be good. Alright, well we do draw a basic. I'm gonna go ahead and play this. It's a little weird, I know. I like playing it just to make sure I can't get attacked by 1/1s. Because this is definitely convoked at this point, and I will have an extra turn to get to this or this, it seems. The blood cycle? Just sick for us? Nothing. Okay. I can't. Well, I have to go get a mountain, I suppose. It could be island. So, well, I have a island. You're gonna go get a mountain regardless. Mountain time. We would have ripped the basic mountain off the top. This game would probably be over before it started. The reason why is because then we'd be able to Vampire's Vengeance, blowing up their board on their end step, and then untapping, World Soul Raging, or using this Analyst. And we already have 4 lands in our graveyard, which is when Analyst is by far at its best. When you like, the sooner you can activate it with every card being a land in your graveyard, it's so good. Why Rest in Peace in the new set's going to absolutely come in and RKO us. But no red mana for the Gleeful Demolition. Had a red for Vampire, which is why they got the Epicure in play. But they have 1 white mana. That is it. They cannot play Gleeful Demolition. They cannot play Immodane's Recruiter. They play that, which makes sense. Guess what doesn't hit it? Vampire's Vengeance, because it's a vampire. Which is gross. I'm not a fan. But, you know. I don't think I even let them Knight here. I think I just blow up their board. Honestly. I could have obviously activated this, but I could just activate it next turn. And that also shuts off their case. Let's grab another island here. That's just Vengeance. I don't want them to untap and play a big Knight. These both, I guess, stay around. I forgot this is obviously a vampire. I know that. Don't look at me. I didn't just play vampires the other day to know the Epicure's a vampire. That wouldn't be me. I would never. Hey, you can gain life. Oh, it's not. Or it's not the case. Let's go. Right. Yes, sir, Captain. Like to attack with this. I will oblige. Battle Cry, nothing. Sure. I just used like a Vampire's Vengeance, which kind of blows my mind that their response to a Vampire's Vengeance was like, okay, sure you did that. But I'm going to do this. And I'm like, why? I can't even ill-time Explosion this. I could actually. I could ill-time and do it for 2 and kill their entire board. And keep my Analyst here. We'll just do this and do this. If you're unsure why the bunny corn died, is because it got reduced. So bunny corn says its power and toughness are equal to the number of non-land permanents you control. They had 3 non-land permanents that were creatures that all died, leaving the bunny corn in just a clue token. Therefore, it would be at 2/2, and 2 damage was dealt to that creature. Therefore, it would no longer live. I know. You know, crazy. A fetch land here would be the best draw. We'd play Nissa, we'd play fetch land, we'd activate Analyst, we would fire off World Soul Rage, and then just go bonkers, maybe? Maybe. Big maybe. A lot of maybe. Alright, I mean, you know, we can't all be winners sometimes. Sometimes, you know, somebody's got to lose. That sometimes is me. I will pass, though. Because if I can block with this and then sack it, Immodane's doesn't give trample, so we're able to block and kind of prevent that. Sack, go get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lands from our graveyard. Yep. You might see Immodane's here as well. Oh, I mean, kind of does the same. We activated instant speed, so we don't get to block anything, but we still get a ton of mana here. We need to thicken up our mountain and our forest. We have enough islands, so let's go grab a mountain. I'll go ahead and grab another one here. Go grab a forest. Be like 6, 5, and 4, I think. Or 6, 6, and 4. Never remember. Every time I play one of these decks, the kind of configuration is different. Get one in. That one's not really going to change anything too much for us. Oh, Nissa. We might actually have lethal here. Play this. Nissa triggers. We make a red. We'll go get a land. We'll make it green. If we hit the aftermath person, it should be. But it shouldn't really matter. We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Might not be lethal, but I mean, we're setting up a pretty solid turn here. Red, blue, green, red. Take a look. Green. Oh. Well, oh, it's close, huh? I do think I want an ill time here, though. Weirdly enough, as that is. I might not even draw. I might not even, like, discard anything. I might just leave what's on board. I'm at 31. It's not like it's necessarily close. I'm just going to use this as a draw spell, I think. Decline. Play this 3/4 flying vigilance creature. Call it a day. I now have kind of a wall, per se. Even if Danes come down, I'm not scared. The only card that I really worry about, maybe that, but they still can't really attack. But they can, because, like, I have a flyer that you can't really do anything about. But math is mathing, and I'm attacking. This is the only artifact I'm playing. That's kind of wild. Attack. Let it hit. Do I have enough just off that? I don't know. I'll go make enough mana here. Guaranteed anyway. Back. We'll go fetch. We'll find nothing. We have 6, 10, 15. I don't know what they could have that would gain life at instant speed. They would have to have all their creatures leave the battlefield, because even if they had the thing that flashed in a creature, this doesn't gain life on ETB anymore. It's when a creature leaves, so we didn't really care. Plus, they would only gain 2, and we dealt 2 extras. Fine, very cool. Taking down Convoke whenever you're this kind of slower deck is always impressive to me. It's why we play it, that's for sure. This deck is an absolute problem. I think this deck is insane. We've already seen how many wins it's got. Should be in the intro. I'm slapping them everywhere. All the challenge placings, all the crazy nonsense that it can do on any given turn, especially if there's a virtue in play. Any top deck is lethal against you if you're not playing counter magic. And sometimes it doesn't matter even if you are, if it's conditional in terms of being like, counter unless you pay 4 and they float 70 mana. There's not a whole lot you can do about it. They just hit you for enough. Most of the time they do like a little bit extra. A lot of times that number becomes like 5 to 10 extra if they can. And then they just leave whatever mana they have left to pay for any counter they can think of. But is this deck going to be good on the rotation of, I guess not rotation. Rotation is the wrong word. When the new cards come in. I'm not sure. And the reason why is because Rest in Peace is in the big score. And if you're unsure, the big score is in standard based off of everything I've seen. And Rest in Peace is a permanent graveyard hate piece for 2 mana. White and a colorless comes in, exiles your graveyard, and does it the entire game. And where this deck benefits from the lack of graveyard hate thus far is the fact that Archaeologist just puts lands in the graveyard. Analyst puts lands in the graveyard. And then this is obviously, weirdly enough, our best card in our deck. The World's Outrage will also struggle from the fact that the lands will no longer be there if our opponents start running Rest in Peace. Which the problem is, and this is kind of how Magic goes, is normally a deck is kept in check by a lot of other decks. So Blue-White Control can't go everywhere because Convoke is too fast or something like that. Or some of the other piles that are playing Liliana just bully them. Control has a lot of issues in general. Now it's either the best deck in the room or is getting bullied by everybody. That is just the Control players' day. It's just, they'll either win the event or just go out last and go eat Taco Bell or something. I don't know. But other than that, like, this deck doesn't seem to truly just have a counter. There's not really a whole lot that people can do to keep up with the amount of lands that are going in your graveyard. Like Unlicensed Hearse is a little bit awkward. Most people aren't playing that in their sideboard because they don't want to play that card as kind of just conditional to this. And sometimes it can't even keep up. Like Frillback and Golgari can do some stuff. But then you play an Analyst after. You hit 3 lands. You sack the Analyst. And now you're off to the races. You're filling up your board with mana. And a lot of times, like, this deck can just function off the basics that are in play in general. It doesn't need to necessarily use the Nissa combo shenanigans. Because if it has the basics in play, so this is exactly 7. This 10 mana makes 30. Right here. Now, obviously, we need a little bit extra, like we need the red and the green. But what my argument is, 10 times 3 is 30. This will shoot you for 28. That is higher than your life total most of the time. Therefore, they win. So, like, it's not even like just hitting the graveyards enough. It was very weird. I love the deck personally. I think this deck's super sweet. That's coming from a Scapeshift player in Modern, so take that as you will. That's what this deck reminds me of. I am playing lands, and I'm putting a spell in the stack that deals with lands to deal lethal. If you don't know what Scapeshift is, it puts a land called Valakut into play, and it does damage, 3 damage to any target if like your 6 mountain enters the battlefield. But this deck is kind of doing the same thing, but World Soul Rage itself is what's doing the damage, so I'm fond of the deck a lot. I enjoy it a lot. I also think it's kind of cool to see some of the cards that are not playable anywhere else. Nissa is not seeing play anywhere else. World Soul Rage is not seeing play anywhere else. Talon's not. Virtuous Strength was by far considered the worst to some. Others were a little bit better in Commander, things like that. Like, this card's obviously good in that retrospect. Memory Luge and Basics were the only thing really in this deck that were like outside of that. Maybe Ill-Time Explosion, depending what you're playing. I play it in like Jeskai, but I don't know if that's necessarily enough to say, oh, this is playable. There are more cards in our sideboard that are playable than our main board cards in other decks. So just keep that in mind. It's very weird. But that's going to be it for me. Obviously, I changed my setup. That's why there was no upload yesterday. I'm currently sitting. My camera is leaned down, but I'm at a standing desk. So every now and then we can film while I'm standing. So you can see me run off camera or something, do something stupid. Also, very cool part, chat. Look at this. Dog cam. JD, my dog, is enjoying laying behind me. So now I can turn at any time we're down bed and see the dog. So it was very cool. Very cool. Dog cam. I gotta get her a bed. She chewed up the last one kind of in one spot. I was gone too long and she got anxious, so she chewed it up. But other than that, I hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching and goodbye.